Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Zone Talks LFC show. For the first time, it's on a podcast called Football Focus. You might know us as Red Sky Pods before, but now we're going to focus a bit more on various football teams rather than just Liverpool. But my show, of course, will stay and it will be only about Liverpool. But today with me, I have the lovely Sophie from Youngs of Cop. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. We have Nathan as well. How are you doing?
Good, thank you, yeah.
And Connor from the Cop Council. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
That's amazing. So 3 weeks in a row when I had the show, something big happened on a Sunday. So it's kind of like a tradition right now. So the first Sunday for my first show was the whole European Super League drama. Then 2 Sundays after we had the Manchester United protest. And then this Sunday, Alison Becker, a goalkeeper, scored the winning header. How unbelievable is that? Tell me, Connor, what was your celebration when you saw that goal?
I lost my voice for about 2 hours, I think, properly. After that goal, it was such a sensational goal, and we've had so many goal droughts and goal problems this season. It's nice the fact that we can actually rely on a goalkeeper for once. To score the goals. But no, look, it was a tremendous header, and look, I'm just so happy that it was Ali that got it because of the year that he's had. Look, everyone's had a very difficult 12 months, well, even more than that. But, Ali, especially over the last couple of months, has been, through it, thick and thin. And it's one of those goals that you will remember forever in our history. And if, of course, what we hope will happen over the next week will happen, I think we'll remember that in a couple of years and go, that was the goal that transformed our season.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think we can look back at this if we get top four as sort of a breaking moment. I think it was such a big moment, and I think if we secure top four, it was because of this. Sophie, tell me, how did you celebrate?
Limbs everywhere, slaps, screaming, cheering, near dying. It was incredible. My friends were around to watch the match, and the pair of us were just kind of like, oh, another draw. Like, no, we're not going to get this. Next minute, Ali's goal goes in, and I think everybody will have reacted the same. I don't think you'll find one Liverpool fan who didn't celebrate that like we just won a trophy of some sort. Because as Connor said, it couldn't have come from a better person, that goal. If Genie had scored that goal, or Salah had scored that goal, or Nat Phillips, like any of them, you'd have been made up. But with Alisson being the way he is for our team, the mountain that he is in our defence, he's had a rough season, as Connor said, but not just on a personal level, on a professional level. He's had so many centre-back pairings in front of him. He's had to adapt and change his game so much. We've asked so much of him, more than any other keeper, and a lot of the times when we've made concessions in games, it's fallen on Alisson. Why didn't Alisson save that? Why didn't he do that? So he's had a lot of stick this year. So for him to come out and score that goal, it was kind of like poetic, really, wasn't it? And as you said, if we get the elusive top four that we want this season, it will be 100% credited to Ali in that 90-minute header. Like, you won't convince me otherwise that he doesn't deserve every single thing possible for that goal alone.
I totally agree, and to be honest, like, I went to the other room. It was, I think, like 89th minute, and I was just saying to myself, Liverpool win, Liverpool win, Liverpool win. And like I go back and Ali scores. So all the good thoughts count. Nathan, tell me about your celebrations.
Madness. Everything just getting chucked across the room. But I mean, it's like Sophie said, if it had been anyone else, it wouldn't have been a celebration like that. It was just, nobody expected Alisson to get it on the cameras when you saw him going up. We didn't even have time to actually see him get in position. The cross was straight in, and it was just unbelievable. And I think as well, the last couple of seasons, if we've needed a late goal, we've got them. But this season, like the loss to Brighton and Fulham and Everton, and even just the stupid draws against Newcastle and stuff, it was like we'd lost that ability to win a game late. And it's just been so long since it's felt like a massive sort of season-defining victory. if we can take that into Burnley as well, and it's just, I think it was Connor that said it, like it's just made up for Alisson for everything he's been through this season, and just a brilliant goalkeeper. Absolutely love him.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I did shed a tear in his interview because it was so emotional, and I think it's probably one of the best interviews I've ever heard.
Yeah,
because no one speaks with such emotion as he does. But yeah, if we take away this goal and look at the game in general, it felt like it's going to be one of those games again. So we try, but we concede, and then we equalize, or the other way around, and I think all of us thought it is going to end up in a draw. But when you look at the performance in general of the game, Connor, what did you think of it?
Yeah, it was one of those frustrating games, wasn't it? Sam Allardyce classic, if you want to call it that. I absolutely hate Sam Allardyce. I hope he stays with West Brom and stays in the Championship. Sorry if any West Brom fans are here, but look, away from it a little bit, one guy that, I think that, of course, the goal took away from his performance was Thiago. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, bossing that midfield and showing really, why we bought him. I think all of us can agree, over the last couple of years, especially in the Jurgen Klopp, we've struggled with low block defensive teams, and Thiago, he took them apart, and we had chances, and it's like earlier on in the season when we played against them, we needed that type of player to run the midfield and have that dominance throughout the midfield, and I thought Thiago had that, and he for me, he's a must against Burnley, in my opinion, to do the exact same thing. And then with Mohamed Salah's goal, just a quick thought of brilliance, and it's 1-1 and we're back in it, and thank God, if it wasn't for Mo, I think we'd be 13th on the way things went this season. So it's just a must that we just need to keep focused now, go to West Brom and it's not West Brom, sorry, Burnley, and do what we did against West Brom, because apart from that, look, we could be speaking about a completely different side of things, couldn't we, if it was a 1-1 draw? And I just think we're just very, very fortunate that we have a goalkeeper that can score headers.
For sure. I completely agree with what you said about Thiago. I think he had a brilliant game, and I think it's just the start of what we're going to see of him, and next season with everyone fit is just going to be amazing. But that's what I think. Hi, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm good. Sorry I'm late, people. Apologies.
You can show us your reaction to Alisson's goal then.
Oh my God. Alisson's goal. Listen, Alisson's goal, I just went crazy. Like I lost it. Like I'm sure everyone else did. Like the goalkeeper scoring the winning goal. This is the first goalkeeper in our history to score in a competitive goal. Like that's crazy. And not only that, arguably it saved our season. Like he has now given us the hope that now we can go and get top 4. Something that we didn't believe up until that corner. And I'll be honest with you, when I saw Alisson come up, I was like, I don't know, is this even going to happen? Normally it goes over the goalkeeper's head, or normally the corner's not even that great. But do you want to know something? You see that goal right there? That just kind of shows everything about our club, how we never give up. And people want to be writing us off this season, yeah? And to a degree, rightly so, because we haven't been able to defend the crown due to various reasons, though, which we won't go into. But I'm just so glad, though, that tomorrow we've got, another chance to put ourselves back into contention for the top 4 again and hopefully get it, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was just an amazing moment. I think probably the best moment this season. I think, definitely. Probably goal of the season, don't you think?
Yeah. When you think about, has there been a more dramatic winner this season? I can't think of one. The goalkeeper. That's massive. It's crazy.
It is.
I'd just like to point out that it's actually the first goalkeeper in Premier League history to score the winning goal as well.
See, this is what I'm saying. No one else can compete to that. I'm sorry. This is why our club is the best. It's the best. Listen, It's the best,
There was
man.
only one other goalkeeper in history who scored in a game where they won, but the team had won 3-1 that game. So Alisson is the first goalkeeper in history to last season break all the records, and then this season he comes and sets a new one. Like,
Yeah.
Where?
What do we even say? What do we do?
And you know,
That's the reaction when it went in. Everyone kind of was,
Yeah.
Like,
I
no
was
one
going
else
crazy. I was going crazy. I can't even lie. I was going mad.
and you know that Timo Werner has only 1 goal more in Premier League, so these are the levels.
Timo Werner. Yeah, who's that guy again? Yeah, we was gonna, I think, buy him. Nah, we got Jota instead, mate. Yeah, I'm so glad we did. Glad.
That's really good business, I think. But you never know how Werner would play if he would play in Liverpool. That's another factor. But
that's true. That's very true.
But I'm happy we got Jota. I think he shows it in Liverpool. He shows it in Portugal that he has a bright future ahead of him. But talking about team selection, Nathan, were you surprised about the team selection? I think there probably weren't many surprises because we literally had almost no one to play. But what did you think of it?
No, I actually wanted Curtis to come in. I knew West Brom would sit in an Allardyce park his Bisto bus. So I just knew we needed something creative in there, but he didn't really get on the ball or have the best of games. So the only other change I think they could have done was put Fabinho at centre-back. But I think Nat and Reece need to now finish the season together. So I'd do the same against Burnley. I wouldn't drop Fabinho into centre-back. So the only change I would make for this coming game is to put Gini back in the midfield. Because like you say, we haven't really got any other options. The front three is going to be the front three, and when we haven't even got a defence really, so there's not much we can do at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I was a bit disappointed in Curtis, but that's maybe because he is better as a sub right now. What do you think, Sophie?
Well, I've said this about Curtis Jones. I didn't think Curtis Jones deserved to start that game, and it's not because he's not a fantastic player. I've said it time and time again. Curtis Jones was meant to be integrated into the starting lineup, the senior team this season. This was meant to be his year to get minutes under his belt. But obviously, due to all the issues we've had, like as I said, we won't go into them. We've covered them now, so you blew in the face. But his integration and his development had to take a step back this season because you have to go with your tried and trusted and your lieutenants. And Curtis, we'll see more of him next season. So I understand why Pop gave him minutes because it didn't do no harm. It really didn't do no harm. Did he massively impress me? No. Did he really frustrate me? Equally, no. I just kind of forgot he was there. But that's because he's not had a lot of game time. He's not had that, that leg up into the game that he should have had this been a normal season under any other circumstance. So, yes, I was disappointed with Curtis, but equally, no, I wasn't because I'm not expecting to really see anything of him until next year anyway. In regards to the lineup for Burnley, I said it on our podcast the other day. The only thing, just like Nathan said, the only other thing you could do really is put Gini back in. Or for me, if Milner's back fit, because it's rumoured he will be, if he passes fitness, I'd be whacking Milner on. I'd be having Thiago, Milner and Fabinho in midfield, at least until about 60, 70 minutes. Because we need a captain. We need a captain. And like we said before, Thiago is able to cut through a low block, which is what we've been screaming out for. He's like a hot knife through fecking butter. He's absolutely fantastic, but we still need that leader, especially against Burnley. When you've got their defence, you've got Tarkowski, you've got Ben. You need a leader in that midfield to direct those players. And for me, I think Milner needs to start if he's fit. If not, Gini goes right back in.
Sophie, would you play Fabinho at centre back for this game?
No. Never again.
I wouldn't either.
Like I said at the start of the season when Fabinho started going into centre back and he was playing really well, I was like, oh, this is great. But let's not forget that when he was in centre back and doing well, he was alongside Matip.
Yeah.
Who is an experienced centre back who's played with Virgil, who knows, and they have that connection because he plays right in front of him. It's kind of like a parent anyway.
Yeah.
And then obviously when we saw Matip get injured and we started playing, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, we saw that Fabinho is good, but he can't do what makes him great if he's not in the number 6 role. Since we've seen him go back into the 6, the game's changed massively, and there's no way on the God's green earth that I put him back in centre back unless I have to. Unless Klopp physically has no other choice, he should not leave that midfield again. He's too important.
Yeah, I think Klopp found a good balance, and he showed it in a couple of games when, for example, he took Kabak out and put Fabinho back in centre back at the end of the game, or this game when he changed Reece Williams and put Fabinho at the end of the game. I think when we needed that a bit of push in the attack, so I think that was a good shout. But Connor, what do you think? What the team is going to look like against Burnley?
I agree with what Nathan and Sophie said. I think Sophie hit it on the head when if Milner is fit, I think he starts. You need that, like Sophie said, you need that leader in the middle of the park. We normally rely so much on Jordan Henderson to do that, and then when he's not there, we're looking for who's there or not. Gini Wijnaldum isn't that for me personally. I don't think, like, Gini Wijnaldum, brilliant midfielder, but I don't think he's that person to lead you through a tough game. I think James Milner is. And then, apart from that, you can't really pick anyone else because no one else is available. So you just go and, same team sheet as it was against West Brom. And just fingers crossed that there's no more injuries for Crystal Palace than on Sunday. So, yeah, for me, it would just be James Milner. He has to start if he's available.
I agree. I think, and he showed his passion for the club and everything. He traveled with the club to West Brom when he was injured. He wasn't on the team sheet. So once again, he showed how important the club is for him. So I think he definitely deserves a start, and he has that ability as a captain to manage the team way better, I think, than Gini does. Matt, same question to you. And also I wanted to ask about fans being back. How do you think that's going to impact our game? Because it's only going to be away fans.
Yeah. All right. Firstly, in terms of the team lineup, I think what everyone else is saying is spot on. I think it pretty much will be the same. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about, which I don't know whether you guys are as much, is that Reece Williams, as well as he has played, I feel like, strikers like Chris Wood and Barnes might try and rough him up and might try and like single him as a weaker link. What I'm worried about is Burnley being so physical, they could potentially cause him a lot more issues than what we had the other night, believe it or not. And there was only a couple of times even in the last game where he got sucked in, and that was nothing to do with physicality. But I feel like this game is going to be very different. We know how they're going to set up. They're going to try and ruffle our feathers. They're going to try and get in our faces. And they know that, we know we're going to have to be up for it. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the bit that worries me. And it even makes me think, I know what Sophie was saying about not putting Fabinho at centre back. And I agree with her, because Fabinho, since he's been back in the six, has been absolutely amazing. And dare I say, I don't think we've lost any games. We've actually gone on our best run this season in terms of picking up points in the form table out of the last 6 to 7 games. However, is he the right guy to play against these big, aggressive strikers that are really going to stick it on him, so to speak? What do you guys think? Just to quickly ask you guys as well. What do you guys think about that?
No, I see where you're coming from. And I understand that fear. Like Reece Williams, we know he's not the most physical. He's not the quickest of the players. We know that. But what choice do we really have? Because at this point in the season, I'd rather have a centre-back and Fabinho in front of him. Because if Fabinho's in front of them, you've got less chance of someone actually getting to them. Because Chris Wood, if you've got Fabinho in front of them and Chris Wood come at them, Fabinho's going to take him out. If Fabinho's not there and Fabinho's in centre-back and he spins him, what have you got? Taking Fabinho out of that midfield, for me, is like losing that line of defence before the defence. And even though he is a child and he is very young, you can't take away the fact that how well he played against United.
Yeah.
And I think we're looking at this and we're panicking because it is so close to the wire now. Like, you're grasping at your fingertips, hoping for this top 4. Every goal counts, even down to goal difference. It might turn out to be like that.
Yeah.
But I genuinely feel that if you take Fabinho out of that and you put him into, it's not going to work and it's not going to go out in our way. Like, we've seen it the last few games, he subbed off Kabak and then he subbed off Williams, and he he slotted Fabinho back for the last bit. That's fine, but he should not start in centre-back regardless. I think you've got to trust Reece Williams a little bit here. You've got to put a bit of faith in the lad because he has done well. And we tend to forget how he played in the Champions League performances for us as well.
Yeah, definitely. And even against Spurs as well. Even against Spurs, I think the game against, I think it was Harry Kane. He had an amazing game. I think what it is for me, it's the nerves that are really starting to kick in now because we can't afford, well, we've known this obviously since the last game. We just can't have any mistakes. And we, dare I say, we still did get lucky with Alisson. We can't sit there and say, because again, we dominated the game, but we still got lucky. And I just hope that it doesn't require something else like that to beat Burnley. Because I'll be real with you, my heart can't take that. Like when I thought we was gonna drop points, I was like, oh, goodness sake, man! Like, just get the win. And then obviously when Ali scored, I just went mad, just like you guys. But yeah, to the second question, Zane, what you're talking about with the fans, yeah, that's massive for them because again, like that's something that we need. Like we're a team that's been based on, fans is our foundation. Like people that don't even support Liverpool, people that are neutrals in football always say that Liverpool's arguably like the best ground to ever go to, the atmosphere that they create. And I think the fans and the football club just connect in a different way that other football clubs don't. Yes, I'm being biased because it's our club, but I'm just calling it what it is, isn't it? So, but again, it will be a massive advantage, in my opinion, for West Brom when they do have their fans.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they lost 4-0 to Leeds in the game before. And even though they have nothing to play for, really, because they can't be relegated anymore, I think everyone wants to win over Liverpool. So, Connor, what do you think? How will they approach the game?
I think you said it there. I think Burnley are in holiday mode right now. I think, look, they got nothing to play for, but we know with these teams they like to cause an upset, and I think that is what they're going to aim to do. I think for us, the best scenario with Burnley is the fact that Nick Pope looks to be out for the game, which Nick Pope always has a brilliant game against Liverpool, no matter if it's at Burnley or at Anfield. He just always likes playing against us. So that's one little bit of goodness for us, realistically. But look, Burnley are a tough side. Sean Dyche has got under Jurgen's skin, plenty of a time over the last couple of years, and
we lost the unbeaten record to him as well.
Yeah, and look, I think the main aim is just win. Doesn't matter how you do it. I don't care if it bounces off 12 players. I do not care. It's just as long as Liverpool win the game, and then on Sunday, then we've got 10,000 fans at Anfield, pack this as much as possible. Just cheering the fans back in at Anfield. And just have that confidence boost against Palace, and then if we got top 4 then against Crystal Palace, it would be an amazing achievement. But of course, first we got to get past Burnley, and like I said, I don't care how it goes as long as Liverpool win. That is all I care about.
Same. But thinking about the game on Sunday, even though we're gonna have the 10,000 fans, it's also gonna be the last game of Roy Hodgson, and he will want to go out with a good result. So it might be a bit tricky. What do you think about it, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm actually a bit more worried for the Palace game rather than Burnley. I just don't see Burnley having the goals in them, the pace to cause us any harm. And I think Chris Wood scored about half of their Premier League goals this season. So the aim is clear that I think Nat would be able to cope with him. I'm just not... I'm just not worried about Burnley. I know this could come back and bite us, but yeah, I think we've got enough to deal with Burnley. I really do. The way Leeds played against them, any sort of movement in behind them and quick passing, they just can't go up with it. And then when it comes to Palace, I think that's the one I'm worried for the pace they've got in attack. And then Benteke is just coming into a bit of form as well, and he likes to score against us. And yeah, Roy Hodgson's last game, it's one of the things where you just think, is it written that he would ruin our Champions League hopes in his last game in management? So yeah, I think, and there's them flashbacks to Gerrard's last game against Palace, that last home game. So we haven't always got the best record against Palace. So I think historically that's a bit more of a worry for me than Burnley.
Sophie, do you think Crystal Palace will want to get back for the 7-0? Is it in
I think kind of now bygones are bygones, aren't they? You know, you can't really hold a grudge that long in football because, you know, results happen, freak results happen all the time. Are we still bitter over the 7-2 with Villa? Well, I'm not. I'm kind of like, okay, it's over now. Next time we play them, I'm not going to be going like gunning for them. Go, that's for the 7-2. Like, I'm just going to let it. Like, I've let it go, and I imagine they probably will have let it go. I think they're going to be more worried about the fans in Anfield because not only is it fans back in the cup, it's fans back at Anfield, which this season has undeniably been nothing like its fortress self. And we've all figured out that that's because of the fans being the 12th man. You're going to put 10 passionate, angry Liverpool season ticket fans in that stadium, Champions League hanging possibly on that game, and you're going to tell me that you're worried about Benteke? I'm worried for Benteke. I'm worried for what is going to come out of those stands. I am worried about their eardrums bursting because the top is just roaring. I'm worried about them, not about us for Palace, because I know the power of the Liverpool fans in that stadium. Like it's like no other, and there's a reason why managers always say they hate playing at Anfield, because it's horrendous to play when there's fans there, because it's an extra person on the pitch. It's unmerciful. It's like standing in a coliseum and having everybody shining down on you. So I'm not worried about Crystal Palace. We'll face that when we come to it, depending on the results. But for me now, my focus is on Burnley. I'm not asked about Crystal Palace, because if we lose to Burnley or draw to Burnley, it doesn't matter what we do, unless the teams around us, Chelsea and Leicester, massively drop points.
I'm with Soph on that one.
It doesn't matter to me. Like, we could go into Crystal Palace and lose 15-0. I mean, it's never going to happen. But if we've lost to Burnley, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't make a difference. For me, you need to go into Burnley. You need to batter them. And I think people are panicking more about Burnley because Burnley beat us last time 1-0. Like, it wasn't even that good a win. But yes, we haven't had a great season. No, we're still not having a great season, but we're better now than we were then. When we played Burnley, we were in the height of our injury crisis. We had no idea who was coming, who was going, who was going to get injured. At this point, there's not really anyone else who can be injured.
Don't say that.
Don't jinx it though, because we'll wake up tomorrow and it'll be someone else. You'll be like, oh, for good. I'm telling you, the way our club is right now, like even the Jota news, like that. Like again, I was just like, great, so Jota's. But then saying that today,
really not surprised by that after that challenge. Not
from Bailly,
I'm surprised that he actually carried on the match after that challenge. Connor's on the phone. Yeah. No, I'm not worried about Crystal Palace. I understand where Nathan's coming from, and probably come Crystal Palace game, if we beat Burnley, I'll be saying the exact same thing, and I'll be panicking, and I'll be sat in the corner rocking back and forth, having a nervous breakdown. But like I said, my priority right now is battering Burnley, so that you that in between is meme to high heaven. Oh, Burnley, that's what you want to do.
I agree. I think last season when we were getting to the title, we had to take it game by game. And I think we need this approach now as well. Just take it Burnley game and then Crystal Palace, and just see what happens. And I think regardless, we'll be gutted if we don't get Champions League final. But the fight we showed in the last couple of games and in the whole season in general, I think you can't fault really anyone for trying. So.
And I just want to add, just before we move on, a champion is not made by winning easily. Champions are made by being tried and tested and fighting tooth and nail for what they want. And we had to fight tooth and nail for our runner-up against City. We had to fight tooth and nail to get to the Champions League final with Karius. We had to fight tooth and nail to get to the Champions League final and then win it. And we had to fight tooth and nail again last season. We took every game as it came. And it needs to be the same mentality that Klopp has built in our lads for the last 4 or 5 years. It needs to be stronger than ever now. Champions aren't built. Rome wasn't built in a day. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. And if you think that getting Champions League football is easy, then more fool you. But if Liverpool get it, it will be deserved because they fought for it. And if we don't get it, it'll be because we didn't do enough. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah. you can find arguments for one and for the other. So I totally agree. And also, if you don't do your predictions, but everyone else, what do you think is going to be the result?
I don't want to jinx it. I'm not gonna lie.
This is. Do you know what? I think we'll win the game. You know, I'm just gonna say what I think, innit? From when Alisson scored that goal, I've got it in my head and my brain that we're actually going to get top 4. So I think we win this game. I don't really, just like how you said, Connor, I don't care how we win it. I don't care if it's a last minute, it comes off someone's like shoulder or whatever. Like, I don't care. Just get the 3 points. I'm saying Liverpool do it the hard way because that's what we always do. I'm going to say 2-1. It's going to get nervy. I think we score. They score. It's going to get really nervous. Their fans are really going to pipe up. And then Mohamed Salah is going to take us to the promised land.
So Salah scores, and who else?
I'm just going to say it. I'm going to go 2-0.
I'm going 3-0.
Yeah,
I said that yesterday.
Oh, no.
What, 2 or 3?
3-0.
Oh, good. It's not just me. You'll all hate on Thursday morning.
Wow, you think you're that confident? 3-0. Fair enough.
No.
I saw the way Leeds ripped into pieces. And I know fans are back, and it's no disrespect to Burnley fans, but it's not. It's not like we're going to Old Trafford with fans. The players won't be intimidated going to Turf Moor. We won. Was it 3-0 there last season? We won.
I think.
Yeah.
It was.
I just don't see Burnley. Again, this obviously anything can happen, but I just don't see us struggling at Turf Moor. I really don't see it.
It'll be set pieces that I think will be their main thing. See, the thing is though, what you're saying, Nathan, is correct. Yeah, I think you're right. The only thing is though, when Leeds went there, Leeds were kind of under no real pressure though. Like, we're under pressure to get this. That's why I'm probably more like, I'm really more tense, maybe more than what I should be. Like, I just want to relax, but I just kind of feel like the players know that this is a must win. So it's like, it's all or nothing. As Salah had on the t-shirt. Was it the t-shirt?
Yeah.
No, never give up. Sorry, never give up. I'm thinking of another. Yeah, but anyway, listen, it's gonna be tense. It's gonna be mad. I think we just edge it though. That's why I think 2-1. I think we just edge it.
I suppose the other thing is with Burnley is that in that game against Leeds, they're probably thinking the players, we are still ahead of Leeds. We're above Leeds. We've been in the Premier League a lot longer. So there's that expectation from them to beat us. But against us, I suppose there's no expectation. They can sit back, they can frustrate us and hit us on a counter-attack. Or a set piece, like you said. And that's where the worry of a 1-0 defeat or a 1-1 comes in. But I'm just thinking more from our end, if we play our game and silence the crowd early, keep the ball and move it quick, like we did in the second half against West Brom, that's where I'm thinking 3-0.
And I think we have to try and score as much as we can. I know it sounds easy, and for us, it's really hard to do this season, but it might go to a goal difference, so it's really important that we get our chances. And of course, a lot will depend on the game today, just Chelsea.
Yeah.
Big
So
game
what
for
do
us
you think
today.
how it's gonna go? I know that I would prefer probably Leicester win or a draw, but how do you think it's gonna go, guys?
I think Chelsea will pull it off. I do want Leicester to win because I think then we could afford a draw tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
But I just see something in Chelsea that they'll respond. And for large parts of the game, I thought they played well. I thought they were the better team for the most part in the cup final. So there's something about Tuchel. I think he'll get them back up for it because I don't think they'll want that pressure going into the Champions League final that they have to win to qualify for it next season. So I can see them beating Leicester tonight.
Yeah, it's that, isn't it? It's the fact that a draw or win for Leicester, it makes Liverpool's game tomorrow a lot easier for us. Like, we can draw and then go for a full shootout against Palace, or we can do the simple thing and win. But saying win 2 games of football this season, like everyone said, is very, very hard. But it's whether or not Leicester, for me anyway, show up, because they're going to be on cloud 9 right now. Winning their first FA Cup trophy. Yes, top 4 is there, but for them, they just have to draw the game, and they, in a better stage than Chelsea. So for me, I think it's going to end in a draw. I think it's probably going to finish 1-1. And I think that's how it's going to go tonight.
Sophie, Max, what do you think?
Do you know what? Honestly, you can argue either side of the coin with this. Like, I've had this conversation about 45,000 million billion times now. What it feels like, you know, if Chelsea win, then we are able to beat Leicester on goal difference. If they drop points and we win our games, but if Leicester win, and then obviously we're closer to Chelsea in points, and then their goal difference is better than ours. And you know, there's an argument for either way it can go. Either way slightly benefits Liverpool. You know, either way opens the door a little bit further. But I don't care, to be honest with you. I really couldn't care less, because my priority is on us doing, because I don't want to rely on Leicester and Chelsea and West Ham and all that to drop points around us for us to get. I don't want to scrape by. So I want us to go in, even if Leicester wins today and it makes it easier for us because Chelsea have dropped points. Great, fantastic. But I don't want us to go in tomorrow's game and thinking, oh, well, we can actually get a draw now because we can still get top four. Because if we go in with that mentality of, oh, a draw will do, we're going to lose. We need to go in fighting, really like scrappy football. I don't care if it's clean football. And as Connor said, I don't care if it bounces off 12 players. I really don't care. And I'm not asked about this result tonight, because either way, it helps Liverpool, because they can't end on maximum points regardless of the outcome, because they both can't win. So it doesn't matter. Whatever happens tonight between Chelsea or Leicester, it doesn't affect, for me personally, the way we approach tomorrow's game. It makes no impact.
Matt, what do you think?
I think Chelsea just edge it. And again, like, I kind of agree with Soph. Like, if Chelsea win it, if Leicester win it, kind of don't really matter. All we got to worry about is what we do tomorrow. But in terms of the game, I think Chelsea would just nick it, because I feel like they're a team, I feel like, has that little bit more experience and they can pull it out the bag, so to speak. And I feel they'll just edge it tonight. I generally do. But in terms of for us, though, I think when Chelsea probably do win, it just opens the door just that little bit more. I mean, it's in our hands anyway. We just got to win our games. We just win our games, because someone is going to win tonight regardless. I don't see a draw personally. I don't see it. But I have seen the comments that some people have gone, both teams will be afraid to attack. That could be true, but I don't see Chelsea doing that. I see maybe Leicester doing that, trying to be a bit like pragmatic, so to speak. But I think Chelsea want to get revenge as well. So that's why I think they'll have that little bit of added fuel, what will make them take this game, in my opinion. But yeah, it's all about tomorrow, man. I'm just excited for tomorrow, but nervous at the same time, innit? Like, I'm actually kind of nervous. Like it's crazy. Like, it's a final tomorrow. Like, we just got to do this, people. Like,
well, I have a
on.
feeling it's gonna go until the last day. We're gonna know the top four in the last day. I have a feeling about it, but
yeah,
we'll see. Well, before we end, I just wanted to quickly cover this Big High Talk as well from the Dugout channel. So I've seen some reports going around about us not signing Kabak. So just wanted to get your thoughts about it. So what do you think? Is it a good decision if that's true?
Look, I take everything you read on Twitter with a pinch of salt. Unless it comes from an official source, I don't put much stock in it. How many times? Let's go back a couple of seasons ago to Pepe. He was Liverpool's. He was ours. Went to Arsenal. Thiago. Liverpool aren't signing Thiago. We got him. Liverpool aren't interested in Virgil van Dijk anymore. We got him. No one knew about Fabinho. No one knew about Jota. You don't know what's going on behind those closed doors. You don't know what Michael Edwards and Klopp are doing on that board. You don't know what conversations are happening between player and club, and you don't know what's going on. Maybe Kabak doesn't want to stay at Liverpool. Maybe he's understanding that his pecking order is going to go down, and he wants to go somewhere. Now he's got a bit of experience at a Premier League club. Try and get somewhere where he can get regular team football. You don't know that. Maybe he's happy. Maybe Klopp wants to sign him. But until it's said by an official source that Liverpool are not going to take that buyout clause on Kabak, then there's nothing to say about it, in my opinion, really. Because they
just like if we take it hypothetically that it's going to happen, for example, he doesn't sign, would you be happy or neutral?
If he signs, I'd be made up. If he doesn't sign, I understand why. But there's a reason for everything in football. And I think if anything this season has taught us that Liverpool Football Club know exactly what they're doing, whether you like it or not. You know, there are players that we've not signed in the past and we've sat here as fans and gone, why? Why did you let them go? And then you look at them and go, well, actually, hang on a minute. That's why. He sees something we don't see. So maybe Klopp is seeing something in Kabak that he doesn't see longevity in. And I love it. But I feel like if we sign him, I'll be made up. If we don't sign him, I completely understand why. Like, I'd like to keep him. I think he's a good backup option. But it's the name of the game, isn't it? Just the nature of the way it works. And you can't put your heart and soul into every single player that comes to Liverpool because not all of them are going to pan out.
Yeah, I agree.
He came up second choice to Coletta Carr to begin with. You know, we wanted Coletta Carr to Marseille backing out because they couldn't find a replacement in time. And we would never have gone in for Kabak anyway. So we might be going back in for Coletta Carr. You don't know, but like I said, I will reserve my opinion and my thoughts on it and emotions on it until it actually comes to that time. Because
that's fair enough.
Stressing about it.
What do you guys think? I saw Matt doing some facial expressions.
Well, I've got a very different opinion to Sophie. So,
hang on, where is it?
Oh no.
This is
oh my
right. This is what I'm going to say about Kabak. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. So, I wasn't Kabak's biggest fan when he came to Liverpool. I really wasn't. And even though he's had some good games, because he has, for me, he's improved. Obviously, you got to take into consideration that he was young, coming from a team that was in a relegation battle, then coming to the Premier League champions, and to ask to be the lead defender, so to speak. Because remember, Nat Phillips weren't even really in rotation back then. He's done all right. But when I actually think about it, this is what I got to ask myself, and this is what you guys should, if he does go, think about it, if he does leave. Does Kabak go into Chelsea's first 11? No. Does he go into Man City's first 11? No. Does he go into Manchester United's first 11? No. Put it like this, all the rivals that we are fighting, does he go into their first 11? Not in my opinion. And this is why when I think about if he ever was to go, I kind of understand it, because even though he's got promise and he can get better, if he's not good enough for our rivals, why should he be good enough for us? Because that's the quality that we're trying to get at. Like, for example, Virgil van Dijk, best defender in the world. Joe Gomez, in my opinion, England's best defender.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Matip, when fit, one of the top 5 centre-backs in the Premier League, easy. And then obviously, Nat Phillips, again, there's even an argument even to say, has Nat Phillips done slightly better than Kabak? And Nat Phillips was on loan last season. So it's not like I'm hating on Kabak. I just feel like we can do better as a club. I feel like for us to progress, we need to get a defender that can do a bit more than Kabak, and maybe a bit older as well. Just ever so slightly a bit older. But it does look like Kanate is coming in. So again, it's how you see that one as well, because Kanate, people look at the injuries, so to speak. But I just feel like if he was to go, Zane, I kind of understand it. But if we was to keep him, I wouldn't be mad. I would be thinking to myself, is he really the guy though? Because our centre backs always get injured. We don't know what Virgil's going to look like when he comes back. Neither do we with Gomez and Matip. We don't know what they're going to look like next season. So if he has to play every single game, Sophie, you stop that, you know. If he has to play every single game, how do we know that Kabak can continue the mantle or be that guy that we can rely on? I don't know. I'm asking a question, innit?
I'm with you on that. Like, especially the Kanate thing. I mean, obviously it's all rumours, but Van Dijk, Gomez, Kanate, Matip, and then Phillips, I think is more than enough. This year's been a freak with injuries.
Yeah.
And Kabak, when you were saying about will he get in the rivals team, the first thing I was thinking was, and again, it's no disrespect to Kabak, but I'd see him as like Porto, Sevilla, Lyon sort of level. I don't see him as a Bayern or Real Madrid level. I think he's just that level below. And again, he's only young, and obviously we could be wrong on this, but I just think he's got a ceiling. I don't see him getting to that level. And if he does, great. But Van Dijk, Konate, Gomez, Matip are the 4 better centre backs in world football. To have 4 choices like that, I mean,
there you go,
Phillips is a backup. And then again, if we have these freak injuries, we have players like Cometio and Williams that can come into the team if need be in an emergency. I think 5 centre backs is more than enough.
I completely do agree. I agree with Matt and I agree with Nathan. Like, there's no denying that. But Phillips wants first team football. He said he wants first team football. So yes, on paper, Virgil, Gomez, Konate, if we sign him, brilliant choice. That then allows Konate and Gomez to rotate and reduce injuries that happen. If Konate and Gomez are able to build a really strong centre-back partnership, it might actually give us, I dare say it, options sometimes to rest Virgil for a few minutes, give him a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
That gives us an amazing opportunity. But Matip, as much as I love him, is made of glass. I've seen a rich tea last longer in a cup of tea than he has on a football pitch.
He's made of Weetabix, because I don't think he's made of glass.
Yeah,
he's made of rich tea. You dunk him once and he goes but I love him. When he's fit, he's brilliant. But he's not always available. So yes, on paper, those 3 centre-backs plus Matip and plus Nat Phillips, if you say sounds brilliant. Nat Phillips wants first team football, so let's take that out the equation. That leaves us with 4. Matip gets injured, that leaves us with 3. God forbid something happens like this season. Bang, 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 Fabinho back in centre-back.
No, we can't go through that again. We can't. No, we can't.
I don't think we can rely on Matip and Nat Phillips.
So do you think Kabak's a good option then with his age, that he wouldn't be demanding first team football? Yeah.
It's a must though. It's him, and it's between him and Collector Car, isn't it? I can't see Liverpool going in, like Sophie said rightfully. I can't see Liverpool being in the same situation as we've been this season. It would be stupid of Jurgen Klopp. Look, I know this is going to be out of context, but look at Manchester City. They signed Nathan Ake and haven't used him at all this season. But we need someone like that. That's a backup option. Not talking about, spending, 30, 40, 50 million on a centre-back that we're never going to use. We need that, that option B and C to be there for us. Now, if Liverpool wasn't to sign Kabak, it would be, in my opinion, very, very harsh. I think he's done very, very well since coming in, coming straight into a team that's, a broken defence. And just come in and just done a very good job. But like Sophie said earlier, Collector Car was Jurgen Klopp's first choice in January. And because Marseille couldn't find a replacement, he went, okay, we're going to sign Kabak and we'll look at it in the summer. And I think Liverpool will go after Collector Car in the summer because I think it'll be cheaper for Liverpool. I think we'll probably get a deal down with that. And what the report was saying was that Kabak will be Leipzig's replacement for Konate, so it works all in pieces for Liverpool. But don't go for 1 second thinking that Jurgen Klopp and Michael Edwards are rushing to conclusions. They've thought about this for probably the last 6 months, going, okay, what's our plan going to be for the summer? What's our plan going to be during the season? They've planned everything. We've trusted them for 3 or 4 years in building this squad. We've won a Premier League, we've won a World Cup, we've won a Super Cup, and we've won, a Champions League. Trust in what Jurgen Klopp and Michael Edwards are going to do because we've done it, we've trusted them, and look what we've walked away with. So it's just, whoever Jurgen Klopp picks, I will absolutely trust.
Yeah,
I might look at it and go, 8 million for him, or who the hell is he? But I'll think, if Jurgen thinks he wants him and can trust him, then I'll trust Jurgen because he knows a lot more football, I think, what all of us do.
And that's the thing, we trust the club these days, especially when it comes to transfers. I reckon Ian Ayres still looking for Conor Blanca, but we know we can trust Michael Edwards and we can trust
I remember
Jurgen
him,
Klopp.
Oh my God, Conor Blanca. We actually went there, I think, and tried to. No, didn't we pay the release clause and they still said no? It was something crazy with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those days are over where the negotiations. Them days.
Those days of panicking and thinking if we sell someone, what do we do next? They're gone. I completely trust Edwards and Klopp to get this right.
Definitely.
Okay, guys. Sophie has to go, so I was thinking maybe we can end this here as well, and just quickly maybe say where everyone can find you on social media. So I'll start with you.
You can find me either on Sophie, which is my personal account, or you can find me on Yanks of the Cop on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube.
Perfect.
We've lost Nathan.
We lost someone. Not you.
Nathan, Nathan's just disappeared.
Bye.
Maybe he thought we're ending now, but we kind of are. Connor, tell me. Where
At the Cop Council, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Even though I barely use Instagram, I'm terrible at it. But yeah, all of that on the socials. So, and yeah, thank you for inviting us on as well.
No worries. And Matt, probably many people know you, but
Yeah, no, they might not though. They might not. Obviously, you can find me on. They might not. No, that's very true. It's very, very true. You can find me on obviously YouTube at Team Copish, my Instagram as well, Matt_Copish, same as my Twitter. But just like Connor, I'm not very active on Insta, but I'm trying to get better. So if you do DM me, I will try and get back to you. I do promise that.
perfect. And as Nathan left, I will just read out his Twitter handle. It's Nathan93_. So if you want to go and follow him as well, and make sure you follow Football Focused, which was Red Sky Pods before, and of course me, and subscribe to all of our YouTube channels, and because there's a lot of good content coming up. But thank you very much, guys. I think it was a good session, good opinion. So let's be positive for tomorrow's game and hope for a nice result today as well. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Take care, Pete.